Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P-Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab, and I'm in the book. I got a nice lesson for you today. It's a two-parter, so we're going to take one at a time, and I'm going to break it down for you as we go. So this is a good one about the illusion of looking for happiness in the physical world. The title is what? Oh, yeah, the pursuit of happiness in the physical world is an illusion. Let's talk about that. I'm going to break it down for you. Hope you understand it. Let's do what we do. Rightisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life. Let's tune in to receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily, will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. Yeah, that's what I do. It's rhetorical, but you know how to answer for yourself. Tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. I do. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, okay? But you can teach them. Excuse me. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you, right? Thinkers, know thyself and to Maya, be true. I read to you the last lesson where these are the Constitution. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights, that amongst these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The people who wrote this were slave owners. So that don't mean jack to me. It's fraud, it's bullcrap. Don't concern myself with it. It means absolutely nothing. Let's get to the lesson. So I just want to let you know. So now I can break down the happiness in the physical world is an illusion. If you are a slave, if you are being oppressed, you are in the pursuit of liberty and lifelong or happiness. You ain't going to be happy. And you can search for being a damn slave. So spare me that. Or can't stand that. But this is the lesson. Right thinking philosophy and yoga is not against, understand, we're not against the pursuit of happiness in the world of time and space. However, it does teach that what? The pursuit of happiness with a sense and an understanding that attached to dependency on objects and situations in the world of human experiences will not fulfill your deeper need of the soul. It will not satisfy you with objects, things, or people. Relationships, money, don't make a difference. That's not happiness. Sorry. If at all, they should be pursued with what? The proper attitude of detachment and dispassion. You're not caught up on it. You ain't that big about it and all that important to you. But if you are hooked, you're in, and you have emotions, you're going to make mistakes. But in reality, happiness, again, does not and cannot come from, pay attention, objects that can be acquired or from activities that are performed. Meaning material, monetary, relationships, all those don't mean jack. It's not going to make, it can make you happy, bring you joy, temporary, but it's not happiness. Happiness comes from within. That's what I'm trying to get you to, so I'll give you a little heads up. It can only come from within. I study this. I memorize and do all this before I come here, so I know what I'm talking about when I come here. I'm just trying to break it down so hopefully you can understand it better. So even actions that seem to be pleasurable in life cannot really be considered as sources of happiness. Why? From a philosophical point of view, that's because all activities are relative. What you mean? This means that while one activity is pleasurable for one person, it can be painful for another. So that's not really happiness. Somebody's suffering from your pleasures. That's never good. Okay? If you find pleasures in mistreating other people, that's your thing. That's slavery. Okay? That's oppression. But this kind of attitude leads to the realization that what? It is not actually the activity itself that holds the happiness, but you, the individual doer of the and performing this action. Hold on one second. Yeah, sorry about that. Now you got to realize, even actions that seem to be, I just did this, I'm going to go back and start from the top. Even actions that seem to be pleasurable to one cannot be performed, but it can only come, happiness don't come from the action performed, it can only come within. There you go. Now, even actions that seem pleasurable in life to be considered what? A source of happiness from a philosophical point of view? No. Why? Because all activities are relative. There we go. Now I'm back on track. But this means that while one activity is pleasurable for one person, it may be painful for another. This leads to the realization that it is not the activity itself that holds happiness. No. But you, the individual doer of it, who is performing the action, is assigning a value to it which she or he has learned from what? Society. Okay, if you do something, make sure you get something in return. Don't take no wooden nickels. Okay, all that nonsense. Okay, that's what they're telling you about that. But it's always about how society give you. Don't follow society. Therefore, if it was learned by you that going out, or they told you going out to a party, I consider this the fluff, but it makes a good point. Here you go. If going out to a party is supposed to what? To be fun, according to society, so then that activity will be pursued as a source of what? Happiness. When I grew up, going to Zanzibar was a way of life. I got to be there, so I get that concept. To me, that was happiness. I'm in my glory. Okay. I wasn't the only one. A bunch of people who did it against society. All right, go with the crowd. All right, but here, action is performed in the pursuit of what? Of the fruit. Meaning you want something for the action, and the action now is in form of happiness. Why? Because you're gonna get something from it. That's not true happiness. That's just reward for the fruits of your labor. Again, a result is desired from what? Your action. Cause and effect. I did this, then I caused to get that. The cause brings the effect. However, there are several negative psychological factors, now we're dealing with the mind, remember, which will arise that will not allow true happiness to manifest in oneself due to their ignorance. Okay? You are your worst enemy when it comes to what? Your own happiness. You are the supplier, you are the distributor, or one way or another, you control it. And watch this. The first rule is that the relentless pursuit of the action will render the mind what? Restless and agitated. You always want something. You want it, you're striving, you want it. Okay, I'm grinding, I'm putting my work in every day. That's practice to me. I look forward to do that, but I put it into what? My lifestyle. So it's not out of place. I know it's right along with what I'm doing. So it's not a problem. My mind ain't agitated. It's calm, it's at peace. And the second one is that if the activity is not possible, and I like the concept because one night, for some reason, my mom, somebody wouldn't let me go to Zanzibar. They held me hostage in my own house. I'm a grown man, so I was freaking out. I snuck out the house, long story short. I'm going to get where I want to go. And when people stop you from doing that, you're going to change your personality. And there would be what? Depression. I can't go out, I'm depressed, okay? Of the mind. Why? My mind looking to be resolved by the party and dancing is set forth to that, okay? But if the activity is thwarted, again, like they stop you from going, by some outside force, by parents, meaning that something or someone prevented me from achieving what my objective or the activity that I saw as the source of my happiness, which is going out partying. I was pissed off, to say the least. But that's the idea, that's the concept. So now when you develop anger, here we go, towards it or them, that's the ego. The ego lashing out. The ego is going to respond in that manner. It's going to be angry, upset, and if it goes any more intense, it would be violent. You would want to fight. That's where it usually comes from. Two ignorant people, neither one want to take the high road. You're going to have confrontation. And both y'all going to say the same thing. Watch this. Do an action and then regret it after you do it. You know it was wrong before you did it, and you did it, now you're regretting doing it. That's dumb. Monday morning quarterbacking. Perfect. But if by chance, watch this, you succeed in achieving your objective or getting that activity, that you become now what? Happy, elated. I'm in the club. Yeah. But in the back of my mind, look what I had to do to get here. But I had to jump fence and run around the corner just to go and get my party on. I remember that. Excuse me. Again, I'm using myself as an example, but I know just what they're talking about, again, from experience. And what's this? This will cause greed in one's mind. I'm happy this Saturday. Next Saturday, I want to do it again. What's this? So you will want more and more of what? The pleasure. When you become elated, and this will cause greed in mind, you will want what? More and more of it. George tell you, you give the people what they want, what? They want it all the time. That's the greed in us, what? Being satisfied with what we like to have. So they getting something, I want more, give me some more. Why think people OD off of drugs? They want to get higher, they want more. So, overdose. See? Limit, balance, it's okay. Anything too far, either way, ain't gonna be good for you. That's all. So remember that. But you will what? Want more and more. If you're getting what you like, you want more. That's greed, okay? Never satisfied. And the ego will never be satisfied. Once you realize that, you ain't trying to satisfy him. Why? He don't count. He don't count. Realize that. When you are not able to get what? More of that particular thing that you're getting, now you will become depressed and disappointed because you can't have it more. When you run out of money, you geezing, hitting that pipe. When you run out of money, you depressed, you all messed up. Why? Because you can't get high no more. When that time is up with that girl that you paid for, when the time is up, you're depressed. Why? You can't get no more. What? Pay more money. Get the concept. And that ain't happiness, it's self-pleasure. And you'll be disappointed. But under these conditions, a constant, dependency on outside activities and worldly objects develops in your mind, which will not allow you, to be peace or find peace or reach contentment within yourself. You're always searching, you're always reaching, you're always wanting what you like, don't want what you don't like. Mind's agitated, okay? The mind should flow straight, even. Flatline, I call it. But even though, watch this now, even though it is illogical, as my man Spock will tell you from Star Trek, emotionally, it's illogical to pursue activities which cause pain in your life. Well, I know that, but you forget the action you cause, the action you do may cause pain in the after effects. Okay, the fallout from behind the action, the consequences, remember that. And people are constantly acting, watch this is the favorite part, acting against their own interests as they engage in actions in the effort to gain or find happiness, while in reality they are enhancing the probability of encountering pain later on. People often act and shortly regret the action, what they have done. Those people like that, you ever experienced that? Okay. I knew Southern Jobs was wrong. I knew it. Didn't care. Until had to pay the consequences. Okay. I care now. I don't do it no more. That's my whole point. Don't do that. Why? Doc, it hurts every time I do that. Doc say, don't do that. Okay? Get the concept. Sometimes, people know, even I'm talking, at the time of that action that they performing, that is wrong. You go in the side chick house. You done planned this, stretched out. You know when you go in there, you're wrong. But the pleasure that you're going to get out supersedes your logic and your reasoning. So you You're going to perform that bad action and then regret it after the fact. That's Monday morning quarterbacking. A lot of us got divorced and that nonsense, okay? Because what? They wasn't thinking with this head, thinking with the other one. That always causes you consequences of that action. But what's this? And sometimes people know before they do the action that is wrong, yet what? They are unable to stop themselves. That's where willpower and courage for yourself comes in. If your intestinal fortitude ain't strong enough to stop you from doing what your physical urge is saying, you are weak-minded. Simply that. Your constitution ain't strong enough for you to what? Be your best self. So you're going to labor and you're going to make mistakes. You're going to have to deal with them. Life is going to be miserable for you. You're going to catch hell, okay? At your own hands. What's this? This is because when your mind is controlled by your ego, your desires and your pleasures and your expectations, your intellect and the light of reason is clouded, is pushed aside. No, we doing this. We ain't doing what's right. We're going to do what we want. The man on the shoulder, the angel, the good and bad one. The bad one kicked the good one out the way. Man, get out of here with that nonsense. Come on, let's go. And we follow the ego. Unbeknownst to us, that's called ignorance of oneself. If you're being led by something you don't even know what it is, you need to check yourself. However, what's this? Your logic and reasons become clouded and dull, meaning they ain't in effect. However, when your mind is controlled, right thinkers, this is us right here, by your intellect, okay, your higher self, then it is not possible. When you thinking right, doing right, and it's not possible that you can be led astray. Hear what I'm saying? It's impossible to be led astray due to what? Your ignorance, your fantasies, and illusions, why, of the mind. You don't suffer through that. You know yourself. So those games, you don't play them with yourself. You're no longer a Monday morning quarterback. But preventing the nonsense. So you win it in life. When you, the individual, when you're guided by your intellect, not that one, they only what's it, and then only right actions from right thinking can be performed. Wrapping it up, taking it home. Oh, I got time. I'm looking. Okay, we good. I got a little lesson left. All right, but when your intellect, when you ran by your higher self, doing the right thing, holding yourself accountable, offering substance service, you don't have those issues. You don't have those problems. That's when the mind is focused. An idle mind is when you're ignorant and you're thinking, hoping, and wishing. That's the devil's workshop. It just gave that lesson. That's when the devil steps in. Why? The ego is the devil. Stop thinking the devil's outside source. The ego is the devil, and he's in you. And you can either be the God or the devil. Your choice. The devil just opposition to God. I'd rather roll with God. Moving on. That's the concept. And when you are in right thinking mode, only right actions can be performed, no matter what negative ideas arise in your mind. I shut that down. I can think a lot of things, but with control and mastery, I don't put those thoughts in the process. Just dismiss them. Okay? If it ain't what I want, let it go. In life, you take what you want and let the rest go. You take what you need and you can't have everything. Just understand what it is you need and take that and be happy. Be thankful for what you got, if you got anything. Those who ain't got nothing, you need to get to work. Why? You lost it all. You obviously had something you did to lose it. Let's go. And this all mental. Your mind controls everything. As above, so below. And since a person cannot be deluded into negative actions, that's me. If it's wrong, count me out. Simple as that. Just count me out. And one time it's wrong, I'm in. See the difference? Okay. And when negative actions which lead to what? Future pain and suffering and disappointment, frustration, all those things you did. You can't fault and blame nobody for what you brought on yourself. These are consequences of your bad decisions, your bad actions, wrong thinking, wrong acting. Excuse me. And are not performed when you are a right thinker. Why? Then unhappiness cannot exist. Why? A person who lives right, according to right thinking philosophy, Mayat, to the teachings, and you become what we call us non-doers. Why? We are without desire or expectation for the future results of our actions. I did tell you, I'll do what I call self-service. I do something for somebody that they need done. Got nothing to do with me. If I can do it for them, that's right, then I'm doing that. I don't ask and want nothing from them. My actions I observe from my higher self. Again, that's where happiness comes from. Not having an agenda. If I do this for him, he owe me. You want everybody to owe you because you did something for them. You won't get blessed for none of that. You may get returned whatever you did, but God ain't recognizing that. Life lives a life of perpetual peace and happiness in the present time when you are what? Comfortable, when you know thyself, you and God are one. Every action you perform, every situation that you're in total control of you. The actions by you control. The situations you're in, you don't worry about them. Why? You just stay you and you deal with any situation that comes along. Again, never mind controlling the situation. Be mastery. Self-mastery is controlling yourself in any situation. I'm about to wrap it up, but I got one more. I got to stop sign after this. One more paragraph. There's some good stuff right here. This is going to break down a doer and a non-doer and the difference in the illusions and physical world. Spiritual world is where we're going to end up with spiritual beings. This is temporary. Don't fall in love with it. What? It's not going to be around long. Fall in love with what? Knowing who you are. What? That's going to be for eternity. Thus, what they say, true peace and inner fulfillment, aka happiness, will never come through the pursuit of actions. When there is an expectation or a physical desire for the fruit of those actions, meaning if you're doing something for something, it's not going to get you or bring you happiness. Okay, it will give you satisfaction, temporary, whatever, but that's not happiness. Happiness is to be able to doing it from the heart, doing it because it's the right thing to do. I stay in happy mode. Why? I ain't got an attitude. I ain't mad with nobody. I ain't upset. I live in that perpetual state of happiness, oneness, and the belief in objects. Again, the belief. If you believe in objects and worldly activities as sources of happiness, you are not a right thinker. And they're also seen as what? A state of known as, you know what they tell you about? Ignorance. If you just using your belief, you're ignorant. Why? Belief means not to know. Only things I believe in is what I don't know. I don't have nothing to base it on, so I don't know. I can believe, I can come side or come up with an idea, but that don't mean it's right. That's just a belief. No. Get information. I would rather know than believe. And when you are ignorant of yourself, wherein what? You, the individual, you caught up in this world's illusions, fantasies, and fanciful notions of your mind. Why? Because you're not in control of it. That's why. However, happiness and peace can arise spontaneously. Why? When you're in that mode, you do something, you just feel good. I feel good helping people out. I feel good doing good things. I didn't always feel that way. Didn't always have that mindset, different mindset now. So when there is a change of attitude in the way you're thinking, and the attitude of what? Detachment. Meaning, I don't need that. Dispassion. That ain't my thing. Towards objects. Again, and situations in life. I'm not going to involve myself in situations that don't suit me. I'm not going to do things that don't work for me. Simple as that. And I mind my own business. I don't need to be in somebody else's. What somebody else's situation is, ain't nothing to do with me. Not a bit. But if the actions that you have performed with the idea of discovering peace within is based on your understanding and your philosophy that's outlined above, we try to explain it to you, you have to put it into effect. And for the sake of what? Betterment. It should be for society and humanity. Then these actions will have the effect of what? Purifying one's heart on the what? Of the individual. If everybody held themselves accountable, our ancient ancestors did. I talked to my mother-in-law yesterday about how is it that you and I can talk on a whole other level. How many more people can we find that talk on this level that we are? Not many. But our ancients, everybody was like that. Right now, everybody's ignorant. Back then, finding an ignorant person was the anomaly. Now, finding a conscious person, an intelligent person, spiritual enlightened person, like the needle in the haystack. Moving on. But that's because the desires and the expectations will now dwindle while what? While your inner fulfillment, when you're living right and doing right and thinking right, and your awareness of what? The present moment will increase. You start living the moment. You start to get caught up in the now, not the past or the future. You can't change neither one of them, but you can the now. That's a spontaneous fulfillment of peace and contentment that you can have on a day-to-day basis. I live in that era. Why? When things work out, I'm just as happy. I'm tickled pink on the inside. That's why. That's true happiness. I'm not worrying about hot new car, big houses, how much money I got in the bank. That ain't happiness. That's keeping your mind at ease. Why? Because you got to worry about those things. You walk and talk different when you got money in the bank. You walk and talk, act different when you got money in your pocket. So money is to raise you up. Why? Money. Yeah. I tell a joke. My favorite phrase is, I ain't got a dime, but I represent wealth, spiritual wealth. I don't need money for spirituality. God didn't ask me for a dime. I've been serving him now 15 years or more, and he ain't asked me for a dime yet. But I've been getting paid every day. You think about that. And there will be now a greater and greater self-discovery of what? Peace within oneself, which discovery of what is true, stable, and changeless. It don't change. Once you reach that level of peace in yourself, you have that to fall back on. When it's get, find my space, get my place, okay, I'm good. That's why. And within this changeless, within as opposed to what? Your mind and the outer world constantly changing. This, that, and third. When you get comfortable in how you think, what you do for yourself, that's self-mastery, which are constantly, your mind and the world constantly changing, and it's what? Unpredictable. You can't predict or expect anything. Y'all fickle. I love y'all, but y'all fickle. Why? Y'all moody. Okay. But along with this, there is what? A greater effectiveness on the perfection of one's own actions in life. Daily, living right, practicing right thinking philosophy will put you in that mode. That's what I can guarantee. That's my goal. That's my mission. So your job is to pay attention and implement it. I'm cutting it short right there. I'll be right back in a second. Right now, I got to go. But right thinkers, this is getting fun for me. I'm hoping this is what I like to do. Teach, give you information that you can actually use. That's my job. In closing, may you all live to be 100 right thinkers. To me, 100 miles a day. So I never know my right thinkers who know the pursuit of happiness in the physical world is an illusion and passed away. Don't fall for the okie doke. Know thyself.